Hi y'all, it's Mike. Mike's RV Camping. I normally don't do political things, but I've come to the conclusion that the far left libtards have gone too far. They're wanting to make a gun issue out of a mental health issue. Anybody, I don't care who you are, anybody who goes into an elementary school and shoots up kids and kills 19 kids, two teachers, is mentally ill. That gun was his instrument of death. It doesn't matter if it's a gun. What if he had a machete? What if we went in there with a machete and started chopping people up? Seriously, machete is just as deadly as an AR-15, as a 45 caliber handgun, as a 38 caliber handgun, as a 22 caliber handgun. I mean, come on. If you're going to ban guns, then ban machetes. Ban knives. Ban forks, because forks make people fat. They take and put the food in people's mouths, so that makes them fat. It makes them obese. It's a mental thing, people. It's mental. It's up here in their heads. It has nothing to do with the gun. I have a gun right above my head, right here. Right above my head. You know what? It doesn't hurt nobody. It sits there. It doesn't go around killing people. Actually, I have two guns up there. Two! Do they go around killing people? No, they don't. No. They sit up there. I never hear nothing from them. So are they deadly? If put in the wrong hands. What do I have them for? Personal protection. What do you need a gun for personal protection for? Just call 911. You know what? Where I'm at now, it would take the police 15 to 20 minutes to get here. By then, somebody with criminal intent has done caused harm. So you know what? That little sidearm I have up there, the one I keep in a holster that I carry sometimes. Somebody comes through that front door of mine, tries to hurt somebody next door at my mom's house. You know what? I'm not going to think twice. They're like, well, you don't seem like the kind of person that would have the conviction to squeeze that trigger. That's where you're wrong. I've been put in situations where I've had to use a handgun in self-defense. Luckily, and thank God, I didn't have to squeeze that trigger because they backed down. They didn't have the conviction, but they had a mental issue. They had mental issues, people. I don't have mental issues. Yes, I have a dog. Yes, that dog is for medical reasons. But it has nothing to do with my mental health. To do with my physical health. Because I have PTSD and anxiety. Nothing to do with what's going on out in the world. It's something to do with what's going on in here and here. I've been in situations that I shouldn't have ever had to been in. I've seen things I should have never had to see. And that's what's happened to me. I'm not a threat to anybody. I'm not a threat to myself. I'm not a threat to you. I'm not a threat to anybody out there in this world. All I gotta say is this. One thing. People. One thing. Guns are the instrument, not the killer. Take a machete. A machete, people, is just as deadly as a firearm. A knife, a hunting knife, is just as deadly as a firearm. A steak knife, like you would use at your steakhouse, is just as deadly as a firearm. It's like people blaming the Happy Meal for the kids being fat. No, that's wrong. The kids being fat are because the parents are feeding them the Happy Meal. The Happy Meal is the instrument that's making them fat, but the parents are the reason that they get the Happy Meal. The fact that they let the kids sit in front of the TV and play video games all day is the reason that kids are obese. The video games should be banned if guns should be banned. Video games, the way these libtards think, should be the instrument of obesity. Yes, that is correct. Cash on the EBT card that allowed the parents to get the kids Happy Meals, Big Macs, Quarter Pounders, Whoppers are the reason. The Whopper is the reason your kids are fat. The chicken nuggets are the reason your kids are fat. Not the fact the parents will let them eat it whenever the hell they want. That has nothing to do with it, according to, the way if you want to think, guns are a problem. Guns are not the problem. Guns are not the problem. Mentally challenged people are the problem. Mentally ill people are the problem. People who don't know how to handle the emotions are the problem. We have a mental health problem in this country. A mental health problem, not a gun problem. I've owned guns ever since I could legally buy one. I'm 51 years old. So that means 30 years, people. I've owned handguns, rifles, shotguns. Some of which, I have a shotgun I've owned since I was 23 years old. Almost 30 years. And it's a vintage model. I have another shotgun I've owned since I was about 24 years old. Brand new when I got it. I have two vintage, two military rifles. They're not semi-automatic, they're bolt action. But let me tell you, one of them has a range of over 1.25 miles. They will reach out and touch somebody way on the other side, and they will be dead before the person next to them hears the gunshot. I have another one that sounds like a cannon going off. It's a Russian rifle, 7.62-54R. This bad puppy is accurate that you can pretty much pick the gonads off a net at 100 yards. The British 03 rifle I have that has 1.25 miles range, you can pick the gonads off a net at 1.25 miles. Now, these weapons are perfectly legal to own. M1 Garand, semi-automatic military rifle. Fires a 30-aught 6 round, same round a deer hunter uses. Perfectly legal to own. We get a 223 5.6, a 223 rifle, and then same rounds the M16 fires in the civilian model is what people have an issue with. Yes, semi-automatic. Oh, what do people need an assault-style rifle for? This is why. Look at Ukraine. Look at Ukraine, people. That is why we need these rifles. You never know. Ukrainian people were sitting back one day, drinking their coffee, drinking their tea, their Pepsis, their Cokes, and next thing you know, boom! The Russians come over and start killing people. The M15 rifle is why. That is why we need these weapons. We need them for the unkept militia this Fourth Amendment guarantees. The civilian militia. People like me and a lot of other people I know are the reason. The Fourth Amendment, the Second Amendment, The Second Amendment exists. Second Amendment exists to protect you, protect me, to protect our whole nation against invaders. Say, oh, that'll never happen. That's what the Ukrainian people are probably thinking too. You know what happened? A tyrannical leader of a neighboring country decided, I want that country. And they were invaded. You know what? That's why we need these assault rifles. You may think, oh, this guy's crazy. No, I'm not crazy. What's going to keep tyrannical government from coming in and saying, oh my gosh, let's take over this country because their leader's a wussy. He ain't got no gonads. He took and neutered the people. He neutered his country. He took their guns away. So now let's go in and take them over. We got a bigger army than they do. Which, trust me, the Russian army is huge. Our army is huge. But do you think, with the way we're spread out across this world, no, we don't stand a chance. You know what? Because the Second Amendment exists, we can defend ourselves against anybody in this world. 30% during the Civil War is all it took to push back and defeat a tyrannical government.
On this Memorial Day, we should never forget the reason behind this national holiday.
The hell is this? Oh, it's my mom. Oh, hold on, folks. I'll be back in a little while.